Thanks for watching Numbskull News. And today, is Notre Dame going to be forced into the Big Ten? Like just someone's going to handcuff them and throw them into the paddy wagon and deliver them to the Big Ten. That's the kind of stuff that's been going around. One of the, the question's been asked, how does this not happen? How can they remain independent? Why can't they do a scheduling alliance with the Big 12? A similar deal they have with the ACC. I know what you're saying. Well, it's not enough big brands, blah, right? There's just not enough value there. But hold on. Haven't I heard from some turds in the comments that several of these Big 12 teams are going to go to the SEC or the Big 10? They have the value for the SEC. They have the value for the Big 10, but they don't have the value for Notre Dame? What kind of hypocrisy BS is this? This hypocritical BS. What is that? I mean, if you're going to be a hater, fine. But at least use some facts and some knowledge. Stay on the same line of thinking. How in one hand you have the value for the Big Ten and the SEC, and the other hand you don't have the value to help Notre Dame stay independent. It's ridiculous. So, just been brainstorming a little bit. What if Notre Dame wants to stay independent? Now, from everything I have been reading from Notre Dame people, from the Notre Dame online newspaper, I mean, they ain't going to have it going to a conference. They want to be independent, period, end of story. End of story. So, there seems to be this new brouhaha that has come up about Notre Dame, how are they going to make money in the future because they can't satisfy NBC. NBC wants big matchups. And Notre Dame is not going to be able to schedule big matchups. Who said they can't schedule big matchups? Well, Florida State and Clemson, let's say they go to the SEC. Okay. You don't think they can work something out and keep playing Florida State and Clemson every year, every other year? You don't think ESPN would love that? I think they would. So why can't they keep doing that? Because they're still playing USC as we speak. That's not going away. The Big Ten didn't step in and say, no, USC, that's not good. No, they're not going to do that. NBC loves it. Fox loves it. And CBS loves it. They want to keep that rivalry going. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't doubt it if there could be another rivalry within the Big Ten. Maybe an old school rivalry. Michigan State, Penn State. All it takes is one. That's really all it takes, or a rotation. You don't think NBC would absolutely love that? Who's also a media partner of the Big Ten. So don't say that can't happen. So, and of course, their game with Navy's not going anywhere. So, when you look at it, they're playing USC, they're playing Florida State, they're playing Clemson, possibly still playing Miami when Miami goes to the Big Ten. Maybe some kind of round robin of Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, whatever. I think that would work out for all media partners. Because NBC, at least the word around the campfire is, they're not exactly the happiest with their end of the Big Ten deal. They're kind of pissed about that. And you think for 1 second they're going to give up Notre Dame. They're not. They're not. Look at the ratings when they play Army, Navy, Stanford. Those are big ratings. It's not Ohio State and Michigan, but it's pretty nice. And as far as Notre Dame doing a deal with the Big 12, like the ACC, well, this is not enough. Like I've been saying, the Big 12's next media rights deal, according private capital and their valuations of the Big 12, it should pretty much double. You don't think right now Notre Dame makes what? 17 million out of the ACC? What if the Big 12 added 20 million on top of that? $37 million. Add that to the 18 million that Notre Dame gets from the CFP starting in 2026. All right. That's $55 million. If they could somehow squeeze 45 out of NBC, which I'm pretty sure they get at least that, maybe more than that now, that's $100 million. That's $100 million. That's just CFP, their deal with NBC, and a deal with the Big 12. That would put them at $100 million a year. They'll still be behind the Big 10 and the SEC. They're behind them right now. And they're just fine. They're behind them by, some people estimate, between $10 and $20 million behind them. As far as total payouts. Nobody really knows because they're a private school. I right now have a feeling that Notre Dame is right on par with them. Maybe not even 10 or 15 million behind. Because Notre Dame gets an ass ton of money off of sponsorships. Corporate sponsorship. Their own corporate sponsorships. It's a huge international brand, Notre Dame. In case you haven't noticed. I have noticed some of you good people out there, you have subscribed. You've listened. That's very comforting to me. But there's still a few. Yeah, I'm talking to you. There's still a few of you out there that just refuse to hit the button. Do it. That little button down there. It's right there. You know you want to rub on it, so do it. Subscribe. Yeah, so for the haters out there, it would work out for Notre Dame to do a deal like that with the Big 12. If the Big 12 brought the cash. Now, would they? And here's the thing. Would ESPN be willing to pay? So it doesn't come out of anyone's pocket, but would they be willing to do, a quasi pro rata deal for 5 games with Notre Dame in the Big 12? Of course. Of course, because their investment within the Big 12 all of a sudden becomes more valuable. They could charge more to advertisers. It'd be worth more than $37 million they'd pay out. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's worth quite a bit more for them. And as far as like a scheduling deal, Florida State and Clemson with Notre Dame, they don't have to pay anything for that. They're just paying for Florida State and Clemson. They can urge them to, hey, home and home with Notre Dame, both of you. Home and home every year, Notre Dame, both of you. That would work out for Notre Dame, wouldn't it? All I'm saying is the doom and gloom of Notre Dame having to join I know there's sources inside the Big Ten that are telling people on YouTube, people like Greg Flugar, hey, we think this is going to be the end of Notre Dame independence right here. It's going to happen. They'll have no choice. There's always a way around this thing. And because here's the thing, here's the fallacy. People think the Big Ten control everything and the SEC control everything. No, they don't. They get paid from bigger people than them. ESPN's got more money than the SEC. Fox has more money than the Big Ten. Those are the people paying them their huge salaries right now. Their huge payouts right now. No. If it's best for business, it gets done. Why do you think Notre Dame has a deal with the CFP, which is owned by ESPN, mind you? Why do you think they're making more than the Big 12 or the ACC teams. Just under the SEC, just under the Big Ten from a CFP payout perspective. It's because ESPN wants them in the freaking playoff. They're not signing the deal. They're not paying what they're paying for the playoff without Notre Dame. It's got to include Notre Dame. No, are they the end-all, be-all of everything, Notre Dame? They are not. They're not. But it's a monstrous brand. It's one of the biggest sports brands in the world, Notre Dame. Folks, this is not some helpless little swan out in the middle of the pond hoping to not get eaten by an alligator. That's not Notre Dame. Notre Dame is the alligator in the pond. I mean, do you think ESPN would shut out Ohio State or Michigan out of the playoff? No. No more than they would shut out Alabama, Georgia, or Texas out of the playoff. So why in the hell would they shut out Notre Dame and millions of Golden Domer fans out there, Fighting Irish fans out there? They won't. And if Notre Dame wants to stay independent, the business part of it will. Now, I know Mr. Bavacqua has been pissing and moaning. Oh, the scheduling is so hard. You just got there, biznatch. What are you talking about the scheduling so hard? You already got USC locked up. You're about to be playing all the major players in the ACC way more often. And even when they leave, when Florida State and Clemson and Miami bolt, the media partners would probably still love to have that kind of rivalries between those schools and Notre Dame. Absolutely, it benefits everybody. It's the rising tide. And they're in a big-ass boat. And they need all the water they can get. As far as ESPN and Fox, they don't give a damn about anyone's feelings. It's about the paper. It's about the money. You can make money with Notre Dame. Just ask NBC. That's why they've been paying them for what, 60, 70 years? Helping them stay independent for 60 or 70 years? You know, Mr. Flugar, unfortunately, I had to work. I couldn't answer him in real time. He wanted to know a reason. Where's Notre Dame going to get the money from? They can get the money from the Big 12 to stay independent. More than double, throw $20 million on top of what they're getting right now out of the ACC. So there's the money part. As far as exposure, they're going to be playing games on NBC every year. They're going to be playing games on CBS, on Fox, on ESPN. Notre Dame is exposed out the asshole all the time. Depending on who they play, whether it's a home game, an away game, whatever. They're everywhere all the time. This is how they built their brand over a century, is playing everybody everywhere. That's going to continue. They're going to stay independent because they can generate the funds to do so. And I've heard nothing about NBC looking to drop Notre Dame. No. I think they would drop the Big Ten before they dropped Notre Dame. Because it's easy money. They could play Army, they could play Navy, they could play Air Force. They're going to make money. The strength of schedule. The spot's already there. Don't lose more than one game. It's already been proven. They lost to a nobody G5 school early in the year. ran the table, which included Army and Navy. And by the way, Army and Navy were pretty damn good this year. Notre Dame whooped them up pretty bad. They had a pretty easy schedule. I mean, who was the hardest team Notre Dame played this year? A&M? Maybe? That's it. Notre Dame is going to get into that damn CFP no matter what. No matter what is on their schedule. NBC, yeah, they're going to stick with Notre Dame. There's too many quality matchups to be had. And other teams will schedule Notre Dame. I mean, I know Greg used this, Greg Flugard, College Peak around the corner. I know he used this like 10-month-old thing from Bavacqua, some kind of interview with him. This idiot is talking like, it's kind of hard, because Michigan doesn't want to play us all the time. Because who canceled games with the Big Ten? It was Notre Dame. They played Michigan State all the time and Michigan all the time. Purdue, Northwestern. What happened? The Irish themselves canceled that shit to play the ACC. But guess what? I think Michigan's coming up on the schedule. Michigan State. Yeah, they can still schedule. They scheduled Ohio State not too long ago for a series of games. That's going to continue. Why? Because it's in the media partner's best interest to get as much Notre Dame content as you can. Look, Notre Dame's one of the highest rated teams every year. Most viewership, one of the biggest draws every year. And it doesn't matter what their schedule is. People kind of crap on BYU a little bit. Like, oh, Notre Dame is wasting their time playing BYU. That's a huge freaking ratings game. Huge. And now it's going to be even bigger because now you got Big 12 eyeballs on it. I know the Big 12 ain't the SEC. I get it. But did anyone... What the hell bowl was that? It was BYU, Colorado. Was it the Mayo Bowl or some other stupid bowl? It was the highest rated non-CFP bowl there was. And a big part of that was because of BYU. They could bring the eyeballs. And versus Notre Dame, especially in the Big 12, that would draw huge interest. Are they going to stay independent? Can they stay independent? Yes. Yes. No doubt. And the Big 12 can help that. It helps Notre Dame. Because I do believe the Big 12 could get them paid a lot more than the ACC is currently. And with their brand, they can schedule pretty much who they like. I mean, not all the time. I'm not saying they can get Alabama all the time or they can get Michigan all the time. But it pays to play Notre Dame. Just does. Anyway, thanks for watching this crap. I'll be back with some more crap later. Bye.